Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate. Have you ever wondered where digital nomads and like-minded people live? Well, today we're going to explore a popular choice, co-living spaces. If you've never visited one before, keep watching to find out why this rapidly growing segment of the residential market is attracting entrepreneurs, local developers, and international companies. Although the concept of co-living isn't new, the past few years has seen explosive growth in this short-term accommodation segment. Nearly 4 years ago, Singapore's co-living scene was characterized by numerous small players and a fragmented market. But as big players muscled into the scene and strategic consolidations occurred, what we're seeing is a more consolidated and mature market evolving in Singapore. Let's find out how attitudes and perceptions towards co-living has changed in Singapore and what it means to stay competitive in this market. I'm going to speak to Norman Cross, Head of Life Operations, The Ascot Limited, to find out more.
Welcome, Timothy. Welcome to Life One North. It's a pleasure to have you with us. This way, please.
Ascot was one of the largest lodging operators to announce a dedicated co-living brand almost 6 years ago. How has perceptions and the attitudes towards co-living in Singapore evolved during this time?
We've been experiencing very healthy occupancies that has seen us through the pandemic. And I think it's all about building that community across and giving that experience, right, that we want to deliver for our guests.
So we're seeing a lot of consolidation and the entrance of big operators into the co-living market. Do you think that the next growth phase will become a numbers game?
Yes, in my opinion, I think the co-living market is here to grow. And we're also seeing a lot of interest coming in from investors for us to develop the brand in key gateway cities, including Singapore, of course.
Amid a competitive co-living market, what are some of the strategies that Life will focus on in order to remain unique and to stay competitive in this market?
I would say 2 key points. The first being technology. We have the Life Innovation Lab set up in conjunction with Temasek Polytechnic. And that really helps us to develop that whole AR, VR experience. And I'd say the second component that we are very focused on is on community building and how Life goes local. We work through with local entrepreneurs or local companies within the neighborhood, and again, fostering the entire community and making them feel involved.
So Life will have 3 properties in Singapore by the end of this year. What are your expectations in terms of demand for co-living accommodations in Singapore in the coming years?
We remain optimistic, given the performance of the 3 Life properties in Singapore. I think that's also given us a lot of confidence to scale the brand forward. We're also seeing a very good mix of guests that's coming back, not just from a leisure sort of market, but we're also seeing that demand coming through from the domestic market.
We've heard how Life, which has the backing of a property giant like CapitaLand, plans to strengthen its position in the competitive co-living market. Other local players have also moved quickly to build strong market positions. We're going to speak to Kelvin Lim, Group Managing Director of LHN Group, to find out what kind of co-living spaces their brand, Collywood, offers and why the firm is branching into this space. Thanks for speaking to me, Kelvin. Now, as we know, LHN over the past 3 years has moved quickly to build its co-living portfolio. Why has this company, as an established real estate management firm, chosen this segment to build its residential offering?
Co-living has already been doing well before the pandemic, and it even did better during the pandemic. There's a lot of demand from working from home, and as a result, a lot of young people are moving out from their family home and taking up co-living space from us.
As we know, competition in the co-living space in Singapore has ramped up in recent years. How would you characterize Collywood as a unique and compelling product in this market?
We have different Collywood properties that suits different kinds of clientele. We have Collywood Hostel, we have Collywood Residence, we have Collywood Service Apartment, we have Collywood Hotels. All these cater to different length of stays and different customer needs.
There's a growing acceptance towards co-living in Singapore. What are the important features of a co-living property that resonate well with these kinds of tenants?
Flexibility. We can do one-day stay. Usually people will stay up to 6 months. If you were to rent a traditional apartment or just a room, you have to sign a lease of about a year, and doesn't come with interior Feed up, cleaning, utilities, Wi-Fi, so we are all in price. All the rooms are equipped with all the facilities like gym, lounge where people can mingle.
In a previous interview with me, you mentioned that you want to position LHN as a more service-oriented operator. Can you tell me how does this influence the type or the quality of co-living properties that you might pick up in the future?
It depends on what the market needs. We may be looking at Colliu senior, maybe Colliu workers. We have to understand what our customer needs and therefore program ourselves to suit the market.
Looking ahead, what's your expectation towards the co-living market in Singapore, and are you eyeing a regional expansion of Colliu?
The younger people are more receptive of moving out from their family home, and as a result, we get more and more demands for co-living. To be successful in another country is not easy, so we are on the outlook for a suitable country and a suitable partner. But before that, we would like to have a stronghold of Colliu in Singapore.
The co-living market isn't dominated by large players. Instead, there are smaller players that offer a more curated experience. One example is the Assembly Place, which was founded by Eugene Lim, who left his former position as Director of Marketing and Sales at Oxley Holdings to start his own co-living venture. Thanks for talking to me, Eugene. Over the past year, you've been particularly busy as an entrepreneur and to grow your brand. Can you share what that experience has been like for you?
It's really the opening up of borders. We have got more clients, more inquiries coming from overseas aspect. Secondly, it's also because everyone is starting to go back to work. So whether our internal space planning, whether what we have created a year ago, it is still relevant now. So now the design team is actually busy looking at how can we further improve and enhance our communal area instead of having a hybrid of working space. The third thing that we are always busy with every day is our technology team. We have built a very robust CRM system to make our in-house team effective. At the same time, we have just done the revamp of our website, which is not a static website anymore, which is a live website that our consumer can know which unit, which room is actually available.
So on top of co-living, the Assembly Place is also moving into other business verticals like short-term stays and co-working. Do you think this dilutes the brand, or does it help to strengthen your position?
We have a lot of inquiry, whether is it from our members who say that our families and friends are visiting us from overseas. After these 2.5 years of lockdown, does the Assembly Place has short-term accommodation with more different options given to our members and consumer? It will definitely strengthen our position as the operator in Singapore.
How has your recent acquisition of Common Town Singapore bolstered your position, and are you eyeing future acquisition opportunities?
The market for co-living in Singapore is reaching a point of consolidation. The barrier of entry is very low 3-4 years ago, but in today's market, I would say that to go into this space, the barrier of entry is getting higher. As a company, we have to organically continue to build forth our supply. It has to be sensible, it has to be prudent, putting good spaces that can attract the members. That to us is more important.
What's your outlook like for the co-living market in Singapore? And what do you think lies ahead for leading operators like yourself?
It's definitely here to stay. Now the market has begun to appreciate co-living better, that it actually solves a gap in the market, especially short-term accommodation. Just recently, we actually launched our Tap Homes. Tap Homes is really accommodation whereby we rent out the whole premises to a family. It could be their renovation got delayed, as well as there's a delay in construction, so they need a 3 months and 6 month solution to sustain in this market. It's continue to be nimble and pivot when necessary, and most importantly, stay grounded and really understand what the market really wants.
Thank you for watching another episode of Real Estate. Real opinions, real statements. In our next episode, we're going to explore the uncharted waters of digital real estate, so stay tuned for that.